Did you know that your own mental ruminations can create real life limitations? Seriously, it's so easy to get into places of self-doubt, self-pity, and discouragement. And I should know because I've found myself in those places sometimes. And I really have to focus on getting myself out of pits, out of my prison, out of dark places. And I just love Acts 16. I've been really honing in on it. Because here were Paul and Silas. They found themselves in prison because the Romans didn't like how they were speaking. They were teaching people to do things that were against Roman cultures and customs. And so Paul and Silas had a mob come against them. We're looking at Acts 16. The city officials ordered them stripped and beaten. And I don't know about you, but sometimes it can feel like the enemy attacks and the accusations that are coming on who I am and what God's called me to do, and my own identity as a daughter can just feel like they're beating me down or stripping me. And sometimes it's been hard because even at the night, I'll just feel condemnation come. Oh, you're not a good mother. You're not doing a good job. You haven't been a great friend. You right? And those attacks can be so violent. And so Paul and Silas found themselves in a prison that was not so easy. But let's look at what they did, because I'm so struck by their heart, right? We can look at the prison or we can look at our God. And what they chose to do was, as we see in Acts 16:25, it says, around midnight, Paul and Silas were praying and singing hymns to God, and the other prisoners were listening. So there was a great testimony already in work here. God was already doing something because people were observing, people were watching what's going to happen to these two. And it goes on to say, suddenly there was a great earthquake and the prison was shaken to its foundations. Friends, when we start singing, when we start praising, when we start thanking God for who He is, we shake the foundations of the very things that are coming against us, the very mental bars and strongholds that want to lock us in to faulty thinking and faulty beliefs. And so if you find yourself in this place where you're feeling discouraged, doubt-filled, held back, demotivated, maybe resigned because of everything you see going on in the church and in the body at large, don't just turn into yourself. People are watching. They're watching because you're a living testimony of Jesus. And so get up, start praying, start praising, start moving, start thanking, start shining your light, even though some of us are waiting for all this to go. And God's saying, no, I just want you to say, even though yet I struggle, still I will praise the name of the Lord. And you watch the foundations begin to shake, the foundations of the things that you feel held in by. Okay, so guess what happened when this happened? This earthquake came, it shook everything to its foundations, and it says all the doors flew open and the chains of every prisoner fell off. See, really, the things that chain us have no power in the presence of God, especially when the purposes of God come about and we can see things from God's heart rather than from the place of our discouragement or our ruminations or our expectations that are really just carnal. We want to get into godly expectation. And when we get to the place of praying and worshiping, we're moving our heart into alignment with His will. So God, I just pray for that heart to praise, that heart to worship, that heart to pray, to just come upon my brothers and sisters, and that they will just pray and worship from a place that connects with your heart, and they'll see your heart for them, and that will become the stronghold in their mind. In Jesus' name, amen.